It's Mike's Daily Podcast.
Thank you, Anki. Yes, it is FF episode.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
2,785. I must say, I don't put up with no jive. What is this, 1975? No, this is a song where I sing to you about the sky. It's so cloudy and beautiful and so blue, but not really today. It's more just cloudy with nice big fluffy clouds here at Café Anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Somewhere in Podcastro Valentino, the last place on earth here in the land of Ameritopica.
Mike's
with lots of topicas
Daily
to get to today.
Podcast.
Oh, you know what I keep forgetting to mention to you was on my trip down to Los Angeles, we took Southwest, and it's a very short flight, less than an hour. And you get to now on Southwest because they didn't have monitors, and I don't think they put monitors in any of the seats anymore. Not that I've seen. And what is it? If I may go on my comedian in front of a brick wall 1983 rant. What is it? More like 88. What is it with early 90s possibly? Hi, I'm one of those comedians. I'm a young Larry Miller, whom I met at LAX, by the way, in 2008 as I was flying back to Alabama from Los Angeles. And I'm stuck in this long line. It's the security line there, and he comes walking through in the express lane, and he sees me and our eyes lock, and he sticks his hand out. He wants to shake my hand. And I just wanted to say, hey, I loved you in, I don't know, the gazillion things he's been in, Seinfeld, 10 Things I Hate About You. Oh, I can't think of anything else, but just...
And here's today's podcast picture.
And he shook my hand and he says, come see me tonight at the Comedy Store in LA. And I'm like, but Larry, I'm leaving. This is the line to get out of LA. Sorry. But such a nice guy. The podcast picture's not of Larry Miller, but of something in Los Angeles. And that is right there at the beach, Venice Beach. And you see the Venice Pier. And I did bring my goofy bathing suit. Oh, the late, great Basil the Boxer would have loved barking at me. He didn't like going into the ocean. It was a little scary for him, but he would bark at me as I was in the ocean. That's how our relationship went. But yes, I was standing there. I brought my beautiful, loud Costco bathing suit.
Pretty interesting.
It is, thank you. Down to Los Angeles and the beach. And got them nice and wet. I didn't go any further into the water, just like right to the hips, because they don't lie. And I got wet. The hips got wet.
This nightmare of a show.
Stop that! And I got that wet there in the surf with the beautiful Pacific Ocean, which I have here in the Bay Area as well, and it was just as cold as it is here in the Bay Area, but...
Which is a very good thing.
No.
Which is a very, very good thing.
No, that's not one of the good things. But still, it was a wonderful trip. But my point is, while we were on the flight going down to Los Angeles, I noticed nobody has their window flap up. They've all got the shades down.
It's Mikey Fikey. Great.
If that's what you want to call me, great. The shades were all down. Nobody wants to look out the window anymore. What's that about? 1988 comedian. What's that all about? I mean, I am looking. I'm in the sky.
Everybody make some noise.
Oh, thank you very much. You really don't have to.
Bringing to you live.
Oh, this
from
is too much. Podcaster Valentino.
Podcaster Valentino.
Close enough.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Yay!
Just want to
Thank you. That was a Haley moment there. We were talking about that last podcast. Thank you, Haley, for that. So, the point is, when Why in this world we are so jaded? We're more fascinated by our little phone screens. That's what everybody's doing, looking at their phone screens. So they put the shade down, because I can't see the phone screen as well when you shade it up. Look out the window. Look at the beautiful coastline of California. Look at, for all the bashing we get.
Ridiculous random posts.
The random posts by those that hate Northern California, that hate the Bay Area. It is beautiful. Up above, you look down and see, oh my gosh, all that water, all the coastline, all the interesting topography. And nobody cares. The beautiful, it was a clear day too. It was windy, so you could see everything, but nobody wanted to look. And I was actually sitting next to a Southwest Airlines employee who was a flight attendant, and he wouldn't
Newsbleed section.
He wouldn't pull the shade up. I'm like, so I'm trying to. One guy had a shade up like 3 aisles across, 3 rows rather ahead of me, and I could kind of see. Oh, I think I see a little bit of Cupertino. So I'm now looking at my phone, and you get on the internet for Southwest. They have the free internet, and when you do that, you have to sign in a specific way, and then you get to watch some free movies. So I watch a little bit of Wonka going down there, a little bit of Frozen 2, just a little bit, because that's all I could take.
The Mike tip.
That's right, that's my tip. If you got kids, okay, maybe it's fun. I mean, the special effects and all the CGI look pretty interesting in Wonka. Oh, it's a musical. Olivia Colman's in it, and a bunch of British actors I have adored over the years, watching way too much BritBox and Acorn TV and PBS Masterpiece. Coming back, I watch Barbie, and I'm halfway through. I think I'm halfway through. I hope I'm halfway through, because if that movie's any longer than twice the time I was watching, I don't get it. But what I found fascinating is, okay, so here you got Mattel, who spends all this money making a movie and getting a lot of money for making this movie, but in the process, they are trying to do the self-deprecating thing.
Mike rips someone a new one.
No, I'd like to point this out. So let's imagine your company that you work for. As we go outside of Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valentino, the last place on earth. Let's just say you decide, hey, I'm going to make a big movie with the Australian gal and the Ryan Reynolds with his shirt off the whole movie, and just, we're going to make money. That's our plan. We're going to make money. There's already big buzz online about it. Let's make money. Let's do some deprecation of our company. Let's put our own selves down.
The Myclopedia Insanika.
Which, if I may do a little encyclopedia-ish type things here, that they mention in the movie, or Will Ferrell does in specific. So that's what you do. You get Will Ferrell as your villain because you love Zoolander, and you loved what was his character? Stefan or something like that. You make Will Ferrell the hapless, unknowingly he's a villain.
Mike's Daily Podcast Master Pod Theater.
A little bit of theater. Okay, so here's Will Ferrell in this situation. Hey, I'm Will Ferrell, and I'm like a villain, but I'm still likable. But I'm older, and I'm making a lot of money doing that. So yes, he's a man. They're all men. And Barbie's like, what's the deal? How come you're all men? What's going on with all this patriarchy? And hey, look over there, past the camera. There's the Greta Gerwig directing us, and she's saying all these things.
Mike's absolutely useless review.
That's the way I look at it. That's my review of it. Anyway, Café Anyway. That's just... I laughed. I enjoyed all the actors they threw in there. Now, Okay, but I have this discussion with a fellow radio person who's slightly older than me, who's just the nicest guy. And he goes, oh, no, it wasn't just actors. You can put great actors in a movie, but they have to have good dialogue. There has to be good writing. And that movie had great writing. In as much as it wrote just the right way to make you, because that movie could just so easily be something you
Live and loco.
hated, drive you loco, because it's so big, it's so over the top, it made it so much money. Anyway, Café Anyway, I know it appealed to a bunch of you, and you are going to go see it for the 20 billionth time on your streaming service this weekend or next weekend. But still, it just seemed... Oh, no, that was just the only odd thing I found was here's Mattel that makes this movie, and all along the way, they're making fun of themselves.
Wine.
Well, I like
The whiny white man wine list.
I am white, and I'm whining slightly, yes. But yes, they are making money all the way to the bank. And I don't have any stock in Mattel, I don't think. But they made so much money. In fact, they're going to do a Barbie land, a Barbie amusement park. So it could have been a worse movie. I can't see it being any better than it was. I think they pushed the limits of how good they could make it. So applause to them. At any rate, that was... Open the freaking shades on the airplanes. Come on, when you're flying, be amazed that you're flying. Be amazed. Be very amazed.
What's the cliche of the week?
That's what I'm telling you.
What's the cliche of the week?
Because flying is very
What's the cliche of the week?
interesting, but maybe
What's the cliche of the week?
maybe what was going on that flight is indicative of society as a whole. Is people trying to put their heads in the sand. We're a bunch of ostriches. We don't want to realize we're up in the sky flying. And that oh my gosh, look how high. Oh, but then look at the planes.
What's the cliche of the week?
Everybody's watching the social media.
What's the cliche of the week?
TikTok in particular.
What's the cliche of the week?
Getting the pants scared off of them.
What's the cliche of the week?
Because they're hearing all this stuff about, oh, planes can crash. Look at all these planes. Look at all the planes in the news. And so that's on everyone's mind, too, as they worry about that. That's what I've discovered. So, well, outside of Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valleyton, the last place on earth, with all my Ameritopicas.
News random.
Oh, here's some news. Some other news, interesting news. Other money being spent. People are betting too much. Way too much online gambling going on. This is very bad. This is a very bad thing. Very, very bad thing. But it could lead to all kinds of sadness. But March Madness, $2.7 billion expected to be bet on March Madness. The NCAA men's, women's division college basketball tournament attracted millions of viewers. This year it also expected... That was the Division I, I mean. That was the wonderful Nelly. Nilly's walking around. Does that mean Benita is nearby? Oh, this is exciting. Benita, the rodeo queen, going to be stopping by. But this year, it is also expected to attract millions of dollars in wagers as online sports betting grows nationwide. Adults will legally wager $2.7 billion on the men's and women's tournaments. That is nearly double the estimated $1.4 billion in legal bets on the Super Bowl this year. North Carolina's online sports betting launched last week.
Oh, yeah.
Did you not notice that? Well, recently it launched, joining the 37 states, the other states, where some form of sports betting is legalized. The remaining 12 states that have yet to legalize sports betting are in various states of legislation. Other events expected to garner high amounts of wagers throughout the year include the NFL season, soccer, golf. I just put myself to sleep there when I said that word. And baseball. Now, Apple, you may have heard, is in talks to license Google's Gemini AI. Did you know Google has an AI? Neither did everybody else that is a Google user. But they tried to let you know, oh, the Brewmaster's pouring us some root beer. He's waiting over here about to say something. Okay. We'll get to you guys in a second. I just wanted to say that Apple's been holding discussions with Google over a deal to use the Gemini artificial intelligence engine in the iPhone. Gemini, Google's suite of generative AI models, was called Bard. Nobody noticed it. Could be integrated into iPhone software later this year. Gemini is Google's suite of generative artificial intelligence tools ranging from chatbots to coding assistants. Apple is partnering with Google, and that suggests it hasn't made a quality AI advance. Apple has not. Apple's been working on its own software, but that focuses on uses.
Like scavenger hunt.
Yes, looking for the uses, the scavenger hunt of uses on the company's hardware rather than in the cloud. This would be a major win for Google to get into Apple ecosystems and have access to the golden installed base with a major license fee attached to this. And Google has worked out a deal where when you do the default search on your Apple device is the Google search instead of Safari, which, anyone remember that? Oh, and Apple Maps, when we were in LA, we were using Apple Maps. I found out what they call people that use Apple Maps, lost. So what we have is some examples of the AI phone uses include Google Assistant, which makes calls on your behalf to real people. It can try to...
Wow, that's wow.
Wow. It can try to book a table at a restaurant or an appointment at a hair salon. It can also do smart selfie blurs, augmented reality, the super res zoom, AI-assisted night shooting, object recognition, and clear communication in any language. It will translate any language
Matthew's News
in real time between two parties. That's the news there. So that is some of the interesting things the Google AI can do. Can translate in real time. That's like literally what Babelfish was all about, or Babel. The Babelfish of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy was a fish you stuck in your ear and it translated what you were hearing in real time. That was something imagined by Douglas Adams back in the early 80s. So fantastic, this interesting world in which we live. Isn't that right, Benita? That's right, Mike. It's me, Benita the Rodeo Queen. How y'all doing? And I have my horse Nelly, who you heard earlier. Yeah, he was here earlier. Did he lick your face? He did a little bit while I was trying to tell Matthew's news. I like Matthew's news. It's really interesting stuff, and I find it fascinating. David Bowie was hot. Yes, the late, great David Bowie. Oh, I've been thinking a lot about him lately. The song Ashes to Ashes.
Let's go back with Matthew.
Oh, we're going to go back.
Cassette copy.
Oh, my gosh. It's time now for the Let's Go Back with Matthews. We're going to go back in time to when David Bowie was alive. But I was not playing maybe I was playing David Bowie here, because it looks like it was on the station KKUR and Y97. Is that what this is? Yeah. We were playing, Let's Dance. David Bowie came out with some stuff. He had a bunch of hits in the mid-'80s, like China Girl, Modern Love, Let's Dance. Of course, all his classic 70s stuff. And, Golden Years, Is There Life on Mars, and the Young Americans, Fame. Well, in the late 80s, not so many hits. He did do an album with a band called Tin Machine. which featured the sons of Soupy Sales, who was a big famous personality.
Oh my gosh!
The bottom of the chart.
Yeah,
pretty good songs that never made it on the radio because people didn't think they were worth. But you know what? They come back up and people start playing them, and it's like, where'd that come from?
There was some good stuff on the 2 Tin Machine albums. I actually met the son of one of the sons of Soupy Sales, who was in the band Tin Machine, and he himself became a drummer. I forget the name of the band. Oh, it's in my interview section at mikesdailypodcast.com, where you can also see the podcast picture today, which is from Venice Beach. But yes, there was not so much. Yeah, because David went on to do the Tin Machine album, and then in the 90s he went back to doing solo albums again. Great stuff. I mean, it's hard to find. I listened to the last song, one of the last songs he did, that Black Star song, which is such a trippy, just stream of thought, what's going on. And David was in his last days. He was dying of liver cancer, sadly. And just the Black Star is such a bizarre, epic 10-minute song, and you've got this bizarre video behind it. And I have to listen to Lazarus, because that was also released. Those 2 music videos were released at the same time, and then 2 days later he passed. So, but yeah, the Lazarus lyrics also contemplating death and what is happening beyond this mortal coil. Fascinating stuff. So and you go back, watch this hilarious video that Conan O'Brien did when he was on. Oh yeah, David Bowie was on Conan's show back when it was his first show, not the second or the third one he did. It was right after he replaced David Letterman, and there was I guess David was doing a songwriting contest, and Conan said, "Hey, I noticed I didn't win your contest. Why? I thought I had a really good song. In fact, I have the lyrics here. Why don't you sing them?" And then he pulls out a guitar, and David's singing the song, the lyrics that he wrote, and they're all about how Conan's the best talk show host of all time, late night talk show host. And then he kind of goes into a little bit of Space Oddity, Ground Control to Major Tom. And then he pokes fun at... Oh! That punching sound effect means we're going to be doing in a little bit the wonderful little thing called the Mike Matthews New Tunes Feud. We'll get to that and some recent songs that you have not heard yet. He was poking fun at Conan because he had a bucket behind his desk and a brush. And he says something like, David Letterman doesn't have one of those behind his desk. And Conan's like, oh, you wouldn't want to know. You don't want to see what's behind David Letterman's desk. But it was a great sense of humor that David Bowie had, and that he would later use that in a song that he sings on that Ricky Gervais TV show Extras, where he makes fun of Ricky, calling him a silly fat man, and it has all these people at a dinner party singing along with him. So thinking a lot about it. Go back and watch stuff about David Bowie on YouTube. It's very impressive. Okay, I may or may not have been playing David Bowie songs at this particular radio station, and I think this possibly is Y97, and this is this is 1990, just as we were kicking off the 90s. I think it was the summer time, and this radio station is gone. It no longer exists. And I was 20. May have been 21, 22, somewhere in that area. But the exciting summer of 1990, where I lost my college, I got a college ring. My parents gave me a nice little college ring to celebrate me graduating. And I went to the beach, and it came off in the water. So word to all of you, if you ever happen to get a class ring of any kind, don't wear it. Just put it in a nice little glass thing. It could be a plastic thing. Put it somewhere safe. Put it in a safe. That's the best place. It's part of the word. Safe. Yes, so let's go back with Matthews to some of that radio station magic that was happening at that time, and me so young doing early radio, early in my career in the radio world. Here we go.
Isn't that interesting? Wow, thing, thank you.
First to the hottest hit, Music Y 97.
Is that Faith No More? What is it? The one-hit wonder, but a great band. They had a lot of interesting
Music
albums.
197. Mike Matthews taking a look at the South Coast weather. Mostly clear tonight and this morning, making way for sunny today with a high of 82. Currently in Isla Vista and Goleta, it is 60 with Madonna and some hanky-panky spanky-wanky. On Y97, I'm really not that strange. I'm quite normal. Thank you.
What did Mike say on the air? That was from that Dick Tracy movie.
543-8000. Again, 1-800-543-8000.
Your uncle is hiring. Join the family.
This is Commander Picard of the USS Enterprise.
Sunrise, sunset.
Kicking off another 15 in a row on Most Music Y 97.
Ooh, some Europe and Carrie. Their other song other than Final Countdown.
Most Music 197. I should tell you, just got a report from the CHP. They said that there's 2 accidents blocking the southbound 101 north of Santa Claus Lane. Both, that's interesting. Both southbound lanes are closed, so you might want to avoid that. Once again, that's Highway 101. Southbound lanes are closed north of Santa Claus Lane due to a 2-car accident, so might want to avoid that. 197, here's Sinead.
It's been 7.
Most Music 197, the best hits for the 90s and beyond. I want to remind you that there is a 2-car accident on the 101 southbound north of Santa Claus Lane. Both southbound lanes are closed. Once again, that's the southbound 101 north of Santa Claus Lane. Both southbound lanes closed. Okay, here's Glenn Medeiros. All I'm missing is you on Most Music 197.
Glenn Medeiros. Southbound lane on Santa Claus Lane was treacherous. Glenn Medeiros, he had that song, what was it? One of those ballads in the late 90s. Nothing I would ever do for you. No one ever said I'll say I love you. I'm nothing to be sure of. You're gonna get much more than your love. I never said love. Never gonna change my love for you. Something like that. Never gonna give you up. There's a lot of that going on in the 80s. All right, let's move along a little bit later in time to when I was doing country. So here we are in 1994. The 90s have moved along. And just to remind you that we do have April Fool's Day on the way. And to some of you, that's a day of complete shenanigans. But here's a little bit from the country music world back then in 94. The 90s were big for country music because of Garth Brooks and Alan Jackson. Toby Keith was just getting started, the late Toby Keith.
100.7 KHAY, 10 in a row, continuous new country. Lori Morgan, that's Watch Me. And, thank you, Nancy. Nancy just got my pen for me here at the K Santa Fe Cafe on a Friday night. You having a good time, guys?
Having a ball.
And that's your husband, what's your Joe? Don. Root beer, yes, we're enjoying some very good root beer floats. These are excellent. Nancy, thank you very much. The K Santa Fe Cafe is brought to you by Splash Nightclub, Simi Valley's Tuesday night country hotspot at the Radisson Hotel off the 118. We're just about ready to kick off another 10 in a row and going to kick it off with Brooks and Dunn, Tanya Tucker in that set as well. And congratulations out to Vincent Terrata of Camarillo, won the Total Fan Fest holiday. That includes tickets to the Academy of Country Music Awards show and tickets to Fan Fest and overnight accommodations. There's more chances to win on 100.7 KHAY.
You've heard of Rock and Roll High School. Well,
here's Honky Tonk You.
Hey there, let's do some boot scooting. Let's do some boot scooting tonight there. Come on, let's go.
This whole boot scooting concept, I don't quite fathom it. Please explain.
Well, Big Daddy, what you have to do there is you just start getting your boots on. You just gotta go.
I see.
So does that mean you want to go?
Yes. Though purely from an empirical scientific point of view, can we bring that hat of yours?
You mean my Stetson?
The very one.
Sure thing, man.
Oh, joy.
Ah, that was Honky Tonk You. Okay, Nancy and Don were big fans of the guy that used to do that show, the Santa Fe Cafe. There's a guy named Bob Allen that did it for about a year, 2 years, and then I took over and did it for 11. And he had these fans, Nancy and Don. And Nancy and Don were so nice, they would stop by with food for me. You hear about this. You hear about these like late night DJs that, oh, hey, their fans stopped by and brought food. It's true. It happened. They took me out to dinner one night at midnight, because I got off at midnight, and we went to some place like not a Denny's, but it was a locally owned diner type thing that was open 24 hours with the really old wood, those wood chairs that your grandmother's grandmother had, and that kind of thing. We went and ate, and I'm talking to them, and Don worked as a janitor. I forget, I think Nancy also worked this was at a school, and Nancy worked at a school as well. So that was 94 was when that happened. Okay, one more, indulge me. I got one more here of that same radio station, that same show, the Santa Fe Cafe, but now we're in the early O's, the early 2000s. And music has changed a little bit. Now we've got the Shania Twain, Dixie Chicks. There's the Rascal Flatts has gotten popular. They would cross over onto the pop charts.
Where you can always commute to work with the music that makes America great. 100.7 KHAY, and Lone Star Not a Day Goes By. Leanne Rhymes' Commitment just ahead of that. And Matt Michaels, I'm going into the basement of the K-Hay Santa Fe Cafe. The K-Hay Cafe question: what is the first vehicle you got to drive in honor of that Alan Jackson song, Drive? We're in the basement seeing our Brewmaster.
Hello there, Matt. I have a lady friend here tonight.
Uh-huh.
Yes, Matthew. I've been trying to woo her.
All right.
Yes, Matt. Here she is.
Hi. She doesn't seem to want to say anything.
Buttercup, say something to Matt.
Why are you messing with me, pal?
I don't know if you two are getting along or not.
Buttercup, say some nice thing to Matt.
Why are you messing with me, pal?
Okay, I think I should probably leave now.
What do we have, nurse?
Wow. We haven't talked to the Brewmaster yet. He poured us some root beer earlier. Okay. And then one little piece of B95.1. This was the radio station I worked at after KHAY. After the country station, I went back to the top 40, but with a more adult sort of leaning, where it not so much of, I don't know what you would call it. They call it adult contemporary. Some people call it hot AC, hot adult contemporary. So it's top 40. There's a whole chart for it. But you would also play a lot of older music from the 90s, from the 80s. And here's a little bit of that. This is 2007. I was working here at this station, as this was the last year I would work there at B95.1 before I moved to Alabama.
B95.1 and Fergie. It is Matt Michaels. I got Gwen Stefani, Dave Matthews Band on the way next. And caller number 9 right now, 656-9595. You'll get qualified for B95.1's Rub-a-Dub-Dub in a Hot Tub. You'll get a 4-pack of tickets to Magic Mountain's Hurricane Harbor, Knott's Soak City, and you'll get a $25 gift certificate to Ventura Swimwear.
B95.1. We're cooling you off this summer. Be listening to B95.1.
Weekday at 9:40.
Cloudy today with a high of 74. Low clouds tonight with a low of 55. Now sunny tomorrow with a high of 76. Currently 71 in Camarillo, 68 in Oxnard, and it's always 95.1 on your FM.
95.1.
B95.1, Gwen Stefani. On the way next, 10 songs in a row.
B95.1. Instant winner.
Who's this?
This is Lydia.
Lydia, you're caller number 9.
All right. I was like, I don't think so. Right on. That's awesome.
You just got qualified for B95.1's Rub a Dub Dub in a hot tub. That means you got a 4-pack of tickets to Magic Mountains Hurricane Harbor, also Knott's Silk City.
Awesome.
And you got a $25 gift certificate to Ventura Swimwear there in the Ventura Harbor Village.
Even more awesome.
And you're qualified for that brand new hot tub, which fits 5 adults from White Swan Pool and Spa in Oxnard. Please invite me over.
Of course.
I got to show off my new bathing suit.
I'll go get one.
Lydia, what radio station just hooked you up and gives you 10 songs in a row every hour?
B95.1.
B95.1.
Mike and his bathing suits. How exciting. Did you hear that Gwen Stefani song right there before that? Oh, Gwen Stefani. Remember her when she was really big with the No Doubt? And then she was doing the solo thing. And my lovely lady friend was, we've got this thing hooked up that it's a device. They don't make it anymore. This was big news this past week. So Logitech had bought a company called Squeezebox, and they were these devices, the Squeezebox device, where you could play music off your computer that was sitting on your computer. Let's say you had downloaded a bunch of songs. You could play it off of that. It just needed to be linked through your Wi-Fi, and this device would sit anywhere in your house that you wanted. So that device had a major change where it shut down this past week, and I had to do a couple of little things to make it work. See, Logitech, they stopped selling these squeeze boxes over 10 years ago. So they said, hey, we had this website that used to be able to go to your squeeze box device, could just go to it and pull music from that. Well, that website's gone. We've shut it down. So now you can only play music that's on your computer, or you can go to TuneIn. That there's a link to that, and at some point that link to TuneIn is going to disappear, so all you'll be able to do is play the music off your computer, which is interesting because people don't think about that anymore. They're all about streaming. They're all about, hey, I'll go to Spotify and stream a bunch of music. Or back 20 years ago, we couldn't call it streaming because then it sounded like something that men were doing in the urinal. Yeah, sorry to take you there, but that is what they were thinking at some point. Or if you were up in the beautiful mountains and there's a stream that's flowing by you and you're fishing, maybe you're trying to catch some trout. At any rate, that is where things were at the wonderful B95.1. Now, you heard the punching sound effect that we had. Oh, and here it is again. Okay, it's that bam, bam, bam. And it is time now. Oh, it's time now for Disgruntled Fiddle Player to say something.
Yeah, Mike, you did not let me talk earlier, and I want to tell you I despise the fiddle, but I do listen to Mike's Daily Podcast mostly because I'm stuck here outside of Café Anyway listening to you talk. But I would be interested, and so is Benita, the rodeo queen, and her horse Nilly. We are very interested in hearing some of the new music that has been sent to you via your email, moxdailypodcast@gmail.com. And I'm done reading this piece of paper you gave me.
Thank you for reading that. I'll pay you later. Okay. And thank you for the root beer, Brewmaster.
Yeah, I'm the Brewmaster. Drink my root beer right now. That thing with that girl you heard in that one clip from the old show, that didn't work out. That didn't work out, Mike. Drink my root beer. I'll kill you.
I'm drinking it now.
Yeah, boy.
It is good. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
That's right. Oh, boy. Here we go. The first song that was sent to me to mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com was somebody called Wash. And that would be... Oh, did I mention that the chocolate crisis is here? The price chart for cocoa surged to a record $8,000 per metric ton, a 25% increase last week alone, and 215% rise higher than a year ago. Due to bad weather, bean disease, and a lack of investment in new trees, recent cocoa harvests have been dreadful. All that economic news I gave you today came from Rob Black. I produce his podcast, The Rob Black Show, and he is on the radio on AM 1220 KDOW in the 6 a.m. hour and 8 a.m. hour Monday through Friday. He's also on television on Kron in the 9 a.m. hour Monday through Thursday. Okay, so this is the band Wash, WAASH, all in caps. Hi, Mike. It says, Time to Let Go was a fun song to write. Originally, the chorus hook only happened one or twice throughout. But when I first showed it to Mike Rosen, an exceptional talented multi-instrumentalist who features on the track, he suggested taking that hook and making something more out of it. I added it into a chorus. Lyrically, it's about knowing the unhealthy relationships can be hard to break away from. Sometimes you know for years that you've been chosen different paths, but still feel this need to stay together while knowing the dangers within that decision. Okay, here we go. A little bit of Time to Let Go by Wash. They know it's over. Oh. All right, well, that video is online, by the way, and Wash only has 10 subscribers, so you should subscribe to their channel and help them out. So that is Time to Let Go by Wash. I can only play a little bit or I'll get dinged by YouTube. They're so mean to me. And they just recently let me start uploading videos to YouTube again, so I gotta be careful because any little thing sets them off. Greetings, Mike. Here's the next one. I'm the most famous musician you've never heard of, with roots in first California wave punk and New York City post-punk. I opened shows for The Clash, drumming for the band Pulsalama. I also have a cameo in the film Slacker. With my new video for my single, I Don't Want to Kill You Anymore, I hope to subvert expectations about older, not all sexed up female musicians who can be indie, edgy, and full of attitude. This is Gene Caffeine. Gene Caffeine, and a little bit of her song, I Don't Want to Kill You Anymore. She has 112 subscribers, so she's doing a little bit better, but she has a shirt on in this video that says bean and cheese. Bean and cheese. Those two seem to go together well, don't they? And the last song to play for you on the Mike Matthews New Tunes Feud is The Neighborhood Watch. Hi, Mike. This says, Bones was inspired by the fun garage rock inspired indie rock anthems that have become popular across Spotify in the last few years. The Backseat Lovers, Briston Maroney, and some early Cage the Elephant tracks were the major musical inspirations. Our song is about relapse and how your body can feel it coming on. The intuition that your body is about to give out again after a prolonged period of health and stability. It touches on this idea of bodily intuition, tapping into that feeling and letting it be a guide. This is the song Bones by The Neighborhood Watch.
My bones, I feel it in my bones, oh Lord. Bones, I feel it in my bones, I feel it in my bones, oh Lord.
The Neighborhood Watch. I would love to play more of the song. But that's about a minute and a half into a 3 and a minute 11 song, and so they might catch me. But we'll try and continue on. Hey, if you would like to call in and let me know which song you like better. Did you like Wash with Time to Let Go? Did you like Gene Caffeine, I Don't Want to Kill You Anymore? Or did you like Bones by the Neighborhood Watch? Let me know at this phone number.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640.
Will you shut ups? Liberty Nation Freedom Foam for all.
And with more ways to reach me, there's so many ways to reach me. All over the place because of the internet. I can be found everywhere. To tell you about that, here's A-Frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!